When installing one of these RV type door handles in a homemade RV that's only got a 3/4 inch or 5/8 inch door, the first thing you'll have to do is start with, you have to cut a hole for it to fit and take it apart, because you want to cut as small of a hole as you can. You don't want any extra space where water could leak. And I've already sealed all these edges here. I just haven't sealed this part. I'm going to seal this part. So you need to add on another 3 inches of thickness, because that door lock over there is made to go in a 1.5 inch thick door. So you're not going to be able to hide the mechanism, but the rest of it will look pretty good. And then what you'll need to do next, once you get the mechanism in the door, then you'll need to make this. I made this out of a piece of aluminum flat bar. And once I got the door where it sits flush on the outside, that let me know where to I had already made the plate first, then I put the plate in here. Then I had to measure to make sure that when the door shuts, that it doesn't, this reveal here is not over too far that way, because if it is, it won't allow your door to come close enough to set against the gasket, and the gasket's going to go right here. So once we get this all put together, I'll have to put some gasket material here, down here, and back this way. And of course, I'll take the plate off. You should be able to see a little bit of a daylight gap through there. I'll take that off, and I'll put a little bit of butyl behind that to seal that against moisture. And of course, I will take this off, and I'll use my 2-part epoxy to seal all this, to make sure it's all sealed and good and watertight, because the last thing you want to happen is water to be seeping in any of your repair, not repairs, but I guess you could call it build. Okay, you can see here you see how the mechanism sits against that. It needed an extra 3/4 of an inch thickness so that this will work properly and the lock works. That's the deadbolt there. So let me shut this, and of course you can see the same. We did the same thing over here. Now I have to take all this apart, and again put some butyl behind that. Well, first I'll seal it with epoxy, and I'll put butyl in there so we can take this off if we ever need to take it off. So here's our deadbolt. And don't forget, when you put these doorknobs on, you don't have a left and a right, as far as I know. They just flip the lock over. So when you measure this side, you got to measure the other side separately in a different way. See how much tolerance I have here? And when I push on the inside, the door is flush right there. So that means you can see a little bit of a gap right there where my gasket will go. Let's see if you can maybe see the lock working in there. If you do, it'd be probably hard to see. But once you figure out the formula for putting these type of door handles in there, I like them better than the ones that look like vintage, because you got a deadbolt that you're used to. The vintage ones are a lot easier, in that whenever the door shuts, it'll have a little latch that would just catch right here. And normally I just back that up with a flat piece of metal on this side. Alright, next thing I got to do after I take this apart is, when I seal all that in there with epoxy, then I'll put something here. Let's see, I'll put something there to hide the mechanism, because it had to be that far back. It just, as you can see, it just, the opening here is just a little bit past there, so that's just the way it is. But it'll be solid and lockable. Thanks for hanging out.